Welcome to Idle Red Hands. I'm Jeremy. This is part of the third Kickstarter, which is the third printing of this game. So all of the expansions, the metal miniatures, everything that they'd previously produced were available again for purchase. And I had delayed, because of the expensive shipping all the way to Japan, I delayed supporting this in previous versions, but the artist, the creator, Sean Äaberg, in 2018, end of 2018, suffered a stroke. So his ability to produce more was limited. And so I really wanted to get on board with this Kickstarter and pay the extra expense to actually get it to Japan and be able to enjoy this game. So this is the box, and it looks like it was repackaged. DHL decided they were going to repackage it. And so if anything is missing, Kyoko Yoneda, you are on notice. They put the name of the person that actually took things out of the box and repackaged them. So this is Degenerates by Goblinko. And so originally this was created in 2017 with their first successful Kickstarter. And last year, 2019, was their third successful Kickstarter to support this game. So let's take a look. So here's the expansion. Oh, we got a little bit of glare here. So here's the expansion, Mean Streets expansion. And then, so I tried to do as even a purchase of everything, all the kind of options. I didn't, because of the weight, I was terrified of the what the weight would be to Japan, but I was interested in the metal minis, but I don't think they would have made it for less than a fortune through the mail. Dice and dice bag, more cards. Here we go. And this looks like the main event. So here's the box. I'll get the plastic off of it so we can get rid of that glare, or some of that glare. So everything from the core set is in here, and so we'll take a look on the back. So basically you've got dashboards and cards and a game map with tokens, and the token for the Hand of Dooms. There's the 6 dice, the game board, reference sheet, character sheets. So the 8 standees for the basic included, and then these expansions include more characters and standees and cards. So 1 to 4 players, 2 to 4 hours, medium difficulty, not suitable for squares. Yeah, so I read on Sean's bio, if you go to the Goblinko Mega Mall, everything is available. Some things are sold out, but everything is available for this game. And he talks a little bit about his origin, punk rock and zines, even, Garbage Pail Kids and basically underground comics. And that inspired his style. And after he produced Pork Magazine as a rock zine or a punk zine, then he decided maybe games was what he actually wanted to pursue. So this is the major game that they produced once he decided to do games in 2017. And so let's take a look inside and see what everything looks like. Hopefully this will help the glare a little bit. So move everything out of the way. Oh, it's a little bit of glossy cover, so my lighting setup is still going to give you some glare. Let me give you a better angle here. All right, so it's a nice heavy box with a nice kind of gloss on the outside, and it's still sealed. Maybe it's caught. There we go. Edge was caught. Yeah, so a nice sturdy box to keep everything in. And there we go. There's the board. Yeah, there's a nice gloss finish on everything. So the first thing you see is the board. And so like a lot of the, kind of dungeon crawling, this is actually just map based. So you're dealing with, kind of a corruption and a wanted level and a map with 4 different realms or different kingdoms that, and all the great style. So I think this is one of those things you're either going to love or hate the art style. And it depends on your taste, depends on how much into zines and underground comics and indie press stuff you like. So that's the board. It's a nice sturdy board. And here are already the character dashboards. And these have a nice finish too. Have a nice gloss finish. So we got Vermin Hunter, Bog Conjurer, Bloodsport Brawler, Void Witch, Witch Smeller, Corpse Burner, Mercenary Alchemist, and Hinterlander. So those are the core 8 character classes, and then there's expansions for all of those. And the thing I like about this is it has a different look and style, kind of, is kind of throwback, kind of the, the zine era, pre-internet zine era feel. But it's not a parody or it's not humor. I mean, there's some fun, there's some playfulness to it, but it's not just a parody, and it's not just trying to, just turn tropes on their head and be the opposite of what you would expect. It, kind of pays respect to kind of dark fantasy and grimdark dungeon crawling. And here looks like reference sheets, so icon references, the combat rounds, large counters, danger card icons, sequence of play. Nice. So everything is explained, actions in turns and everything are explained here. And these are really nice glossy sheets as well. So none of this feels like, magazine paper and cheaply produced. So, of course, being self-published and doing, becoming from the zine world, I'm sure he really appreciates, good quality for things. So those cards, which is something you're going to handle a lot, are nice and sturdy. And here is the missions book. So this will be the setup for each of the missions. And from what I know of the game, they give you a lot of options. I think it's the campaign. So it's a cooperative game from 1 to 4 players, and it's the cooperative campaign does seem to be very free. You're not really going to be railroaded into what you have to do. You're going to run into people that are going to offer you things or, set you on missions, but you're not going to be stuck to finish that quest line, or you can basically go and do whatever you want. And all that's going to happen is it's just going to affect, kind of the corruption around you, the doom that's happening. And basically the more you kind of beat back the doom, the evil in the game, the more options you'll have for what the town's merchants have available for you, what your characters can do as far as how advanced they get. And so here is the rule book, and everything is nice, full color, great art everywhere. Table of contents and basically explaining everything that's in the box. Overview of the map, the locations and territories. Yeah, so everything's arranged well. Yeah, it's a nice nice overview of everything. And then the core mechanics of the game, and talking about on different cards what different areas and different icons are going to mean. So it's a pretty rules-heavy board game, which I think puts it somewhere in between actually playing an RPG, something with all the complexity of a tabletop role-playing game, and a board game. I think there's a nice balance to it, and you have this nice bright, the Dayglow color scheme is great, and all of this, it's all, very the lithograph of kind of rock posters and indie artists, underground comics is all here. So it looks really nice. I like that bright, limited palette, and it matches the artwork perfectly. So resolving a fight, and here's the Doom. Yeah, filling the Doom track. Void gates and mazes, loot and items. So playing a campaign, so you actually keep track of your choices and things that have happened. So you use the mission book, and then you set up, and then you pack up the game, and it gives you kind of where you left off. So that's great. Yeah, and there we go. So there's the campaign record sheet. So that's how you keep track of everything, and then record your adventurers where they are, so you can set them up again at the end of each session. Oh, and here's some images of metal minis. Yeah, I really feel bad if I've missed out, because some of them are sold out on the shop, and I don't know if they're going to recast or do any more. But the art is reproduced really well in the white metal. That looks great, very retro and very very good. These I'd love to see. I'm sure on Board Game Geek or somewhere some people have painted them. I'd love to see these painted, especially in the color scheme of the printing in the game, everything that's published in the game. And here's a reference for monster abilities and the index in the back. So the rule book. And here's our counters and tokens and standees. So entrance to hidden halls, and then we have your stances and things to keep track of all. So the different colors represent the different levels of towns and things and the influence that they have. So here's all the standees. And it's, again, a nice gloss, a nice presentation, and a nice gloss for everything. So all of the sheets of tokens. And there we go. We've got some monsters. So you've got standees for your characters, but it looks like the monsters are going to be represented with tokens. Nice. And look at this. A nice tray for everything to fit into. So here's your dice. So you're rolling 2d6 for most of the checks and mechanics. And here's the little stands. And bags for all of those tokens that we just took a look at. And let's take a look at some of these cards and let you know the quality of these. The Fishmonger, the Oozing Skull, the Slime Corpse, Bullscrog Patriarch, Slagverm, Gobfly. Yeah, I think it's a nice, and then their kind of keywords or their abilities down below. Yeah, these are great. Yeah, the cards are decent quality. I think sleeving them might not be a bad idea, so that they don't get frayed in the end. Because always when you do black edging, always that you can see that very obviously when they start to get worn because it comes off and there's white. But yeah, great color scheme as you can see. Wow, this was a lot of artwork. This must have the original production time. This must have been a lot. So it's a shame. It's a shame that he's recovering now and kind of coming back from a stroke. So I hope it doesn't keep him down permanently because yeah, this artwork is great and I really like the feel, the style of this. These look like items. Yeah, here's loot cards. So here's, oh great, and they've got it divided between wetland monsters, lowland monsters, and I think I was looking at the other, and then epic loot, and here's some of the yeah. So it's great. They keep with the great color scheme, the kind of poster, the kind of screen printing color scheme of the zine era. Wow. Nice. Moon Witch, Vampire Thrall. So you see nothing is, oh, there's a Japanese monster in here too. That's great. But none of it is just a complete parody, a complete farce that, you can stay kind of in the theme of the game. And even though the artwork is much more, kind of themed and extreme than typical. But actually, I mean, a lot of the early work that went into a lot of tabletop RPGs, had this feel, had that handmade, homemade, the self-taught kind of feel. So here's more loot cards, highland encounters, badland encounters, lowland encounters, wetland encounters. So those are the areas on the board. And here's all the things that happen during those times. So yeah, lots of text and lots of flavor too. So there's nice flavor text and things on each. Yeah, it looks nice. So yeah, resolve immediately. So there's things that are marked that have to happen right away and things maybe you can avoid. And ghost word, magic mushroom. So we're looking at more loot cards. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, very consistent, nice design. And here looks like we have the smaller ability cards. Alchemy, Backstab, the Black Market, Burly, Decay. Yeah, so I think you have skill. Yeah, these are skills. So the skills have a regular state and then a mastered state. So a stronger kind of a leveled up version. So all the skill cards are two-sided. So depending on which character you choose, that's which skill you start with, and then you can level that up. And these are triumph cards. Well, yeah, nice. This tray is great. Everything fits well. All right. So what are we looking at here? So these are danger cards, doom cards, and then more triumph. So yeah, nice and readable. And the bright colors help a lot because then when you're printing black, it's very easy to read. And the design throughout is very uniform and nice. It doesn't feel like a bunch of different people just all contributed and ignored a design choice. Yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah, and all this color kind of uniformly on the board is going to look great. That's those, and then here are the dice, and I got some extra dice as well as the bag, so I'll have lots of choices for dice, but I think you're only ever rolling 2d6. But I hope it looked like the dice choices, there were some brighter colors and things, so Thought that would look nice. So lots of cards. Nice. So that's everything in the core game. Yes. There we go. So everything in the core game. This was also in there. So read me first. Well, I'm reading it kind of first, early on in the unboxing. So Dungeon Degenerates, thank you for backing. Dungeon Degenerates Hand of Doom 3rd printing. So here's the things to consider. Share the moment when you enter the world. Make an unboxing video. Hey, well, there you go. We were already doing that in the process. And so here's all the contact, and then they've got an end date for replacements. Yeah, so end of this year, they're going to be done replacing missing parts and things. That's great. And of course, more excellent artwork. All right. Okay, so that's the core box. So that's everything you get in the Hand of Doom core box. You saw. So let's take a look at the expansions. And mostly it's character expansion. I think it gives you more character options and different characters and classes. Well, I guess first, let's start with the dice, because we just looked at those. So they give you a dice bag. Ooh, a nice velvety dice bag with the art screened on it. This art, stabbing the sausage. And yes, more dice. All right. So excellent. So we've got more colors and more options. I guess, just an elaboration on kind of the core that we got. So I'll put these in here. Great. So there's the dice bag. And let's start with some of these. So here's the Freaks and Psychos expansion. So you can see here's our Freaks and Psychos that we can play. And so it gives you 8 characters, so I guess 8 more options, 18 more loot cards, 15 skills, 8 standees, more epic monsters, infected counter, and weakness cards. Nice. So let's open this up and take a look at who is included. So here's more cards. So these will give you, here's the epic monsters. The epic monsters and more loot. So smoke bomb and dart rifle, hand puppet, wizard pipe. Ooh, castle horror, the hook goat. Nice. Gardriak hologram. Gardiak. Nice. All right. And then weakness cards. Nice. Requirement human. Xenophobe. Herb fiend. Animal lover. And then more of the skills that go with the new classes. Nice. So here are the standees for those characters. Then the infected card. And then more tokens for those epic monsters. So let's take a look at who we get. So the charlatan magician. The cloaked killer. Fishy confectioner. The hermit aesthetic. Highway robber. Naughty naturalist. And sharpshooter. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I remember noticing that metal mini. Solitary swordsman. Nice. So there's 8 more choices. So we're up to 16 so far. Character choices. And so let's look at one more expansion. So it's going to give us 8 more. So here's the Adventurers expansion. But we've got standees for 8 more. And here's their dashboards. So we've got Carnival Drifter, Soldier of Fortune, Dishonored Knight. Nice. River Pirate. Banished Sorcerer. Wastelander. Alley Cat. Anthropomorphic Cat. And Jack Slasher. Nice. All right, and here's the cards that they included. Some more loot cards. And, oh yeah, a filching familiar. Nice. And here's more of the abilities. So the regular skill level, and then the mastery level. Performance, shield wall, river rat, streetwise. Nice. Yeah, and the cards are all nicely produced. Oh, one more pack of cards. So here's City Scum. So a thematic booster pack. More monsters to, oh, nice. So loot cards, Highland monsters. Yeah, so more monsters for each area. And the settlement encounter. So monster ability cards, so a reference for everything. And then a settlement card. So we have the Pickle Blaster is a loot card. Guttermilk. The Gift. Torture Monk. Law card. Oh, wow. Torture Monk. Another law card. The Convict Conscript. Snout Beast. And then the monsters for the particular areas. Plotter Pest. Billy Worst. The Human Bandit. Gastrek. Puppeteer. Leather Dwarf. And a Slitherfish. Nice, so more monsters to add to the area to give you a little more variety. Wow, that's great. So that's all of the bagged expansions. So basically it was mostly character expansions, giving you additional character choices. And the last thing we're going to take a look at is the Mean Streets expansion box. So this gives you a rulebook, reference cards, 4 more adventurers, 58 cards, mini cards, and counters. So this expands the sprawling wretch of Wurststreck into the an all-new settlement encounters, plague, and monster abilities. So the expansion giving you new monster abilities and new a plague mechanic. So we already have Doom. Now we have Illness. And again, another nice, it matches very well with the box for the core set. Yeah, very nice. So here's your rule book. Nice. So explaining the plague, deadly smells of disease. So this is adding disease, and then the new rules, and the river of filth. Excellent. Immunized, immunization against the plague. So here are the cards. Oh, here we go. So these will be the new. So Medikit Monk, the fugitive fop. And here's a reference card for the abilities, and like in the rulebook, talking about the plague mechanics and the immunization. Nice. And here's some more characters. Sickly Soldier. So it's going to be disease-based. And the Unlicensed Surgeon. Excellent. All right, so here's our standees and our plague counters for the expansion. Nice. So here's your immunization. Oh, and here's a little tray to hold the cards. And so this is nice because you can keep it separated. You can play the core box without having it all mixed in. You have some place to actually store everything extra. That's a nice option. So that's great. Take a quick look. So I think we're going to have a lot of disease-based. Yeah, there's inoculation. Painkiller, perfume because of the stench. Nice. Rod of Filth, Droning Dwarf, law cards. I've got to check what law cards are. And here's the monsters for the different areas. Cauldron of Contagion, Waste Witch, Totem Hand, Uber Grinder, and then settlement encounters. Nice. Great. So this will add disease to every place that you are encountering. And then here are the skill and danger cards, more danger and doom cards. And then the skills, if you can call that, bleeding. Yeah, bleeding, call fire, dilettante, forlorn hope. Nice. And weakness, feeble, pestilent rot on the doom. Nice. Vermin plague. All right. So everything is sick and diseased if you add Mean Streets into the core game. Excellent. So that is everything. And there are zines, kind of lore expansion, kind of zine style booklets that add more to the game. That's the only thing that I don't have as part of this pledge, and also then the metal minis. And the metal minis were very tempting, but I can't imagine. There were quite a few. There were like 20 or so. I guess they were probably for every single character. So what did we have? We had a total of 24. Yeah, maybe 24 because everything was 8. Or this was 4, wasn't it? Yeah. So we had 4, 8, 8, and 8. Right. So 28. Yeah, 28. 28 metal miniatures, which I think would have been pretty heavy on the shipment. This already, the box, I think itself, the core box was like 5 pounds by itself. So it was already a heavy send, and it got repackaged by DHL. I guess they didn't understand when I wrote Boardgame. Customs didn't understand that, so it was reboxed for me. But it looks like everything's in there. All of the the extra dice and everything, and a read me first, which I did not do first. But we are unboxing, so I will mark this with the hashtag Dungeon Degenerates, and hopefully the creators will see and know how much or how excited I was to get this. And so we will be playing this at the table with idle red hands. So thank you for joining me. And if you have purchased this game in the previous campaigns or have some experience with it, please let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to see how prolonged the campaign play can be, because it does really seem like they put a lot of effort into giving you some nice choices, and you're affecting this whole map, and then also being able to stop at any point in your session and record it so you can always come back later. So that looks really fun, and I'm hoping that all of the different mechanics and all the different character classes give people enough choices that we can put together an interesting party and enjoy some Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom. So thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please give us a like. And if you like to see this unboxing, please share this. And we would also enjoy you to subscribe to the channel, because we have lots of reviews, lots of unboxings, and a lot of talk on tabletop. So board games and tabletop role-playing games on the channel, as well as pop culture, comic books, and movies, and occasional TV. But that's all for this time. See you next time. Bye.